What's up, gang? Welcome back to another one of my creature design videos for my world building project here on the channel. So as I've been doing with the past few videos here in this series, we're going to be checking out some of the fauna located within a specific region. And today's locale will be Hell's Womb, which is this island over here to the far east on my world map. And as you might have guessed by the name, this is a land where there be demons. The reason it's called Hell's Womb is because there is a dimensional gate located here that spawns forth many creatures from the demonic realms on the other side. And this right here that you see me sketching up is one of those creatures. So my idea for this creature was to come up with some sort of insane looking insect. I ended up using traits from spiders and centipedes primarily. One of my earliest ideas actually was a centipede dragon, but I took out most of the draconic elements and leaned like 90% into the insect aesthetic, but I still kept the dragon inspiration in it having these wings that you can see. Since it originally spawned from the demonic realms, I wanted to make sure that this creature looked like something you would be horrified to come across. I'm sure there are some of you watching who have a fear of things like spiders or centipedes or just insects in general, so maybe you'll find this beast here to be a little repulsive, which is great. I also took a little inspiration from the cockroach alien guy that was the main villain in Men in Black. I always thought his design was super cool when I was a kid, and that whole movie in general was amazing actually. But anyways, the name of this demon bug here is the Infernipede. It's a genius combination of the words inferno and centipede. I really don't know how I come up with such unique and awe-inspiring ideas, folks. It's a gift, really, you know? I was just born this way, I can't help it. But what's most unique about this Infernipede is its venom. So, for a very long time, I've had this idea of designing some sort of creature or character that uses a venom that works in a way that it's like this fire toxin and that it boils the blood, causing the victim to basically erupt from the inside out. And as I was drawing this dude here, I realized it would be a perfect creature to have this ability, since insects like centipedes are known to have venomous bites that cause a painfully sharp, fiery type of feeling. Or so I've heard. Never tried it before personally. So I just like that kind of ability for this Infernipede here. Kind of really helps amplify that horror aspect of it. Also, I thought it would be cool for there to be sexual dimorphism in this species, where the females are these larger ones who are way too big to fly, and the males are about half the body mass of the females, but they have larger wings. That way, we can cover even more bases, because what's even creepier than just a normal bug is a nasty one that can fly at you. And I'm talking about you, flying cockroaches. Disgusting. Also, super random, but I kind of designed its face a little bit off of Majora's Mask. I just really felt like those really disturbing yellow eyes and small pupils would work nicely. But here we have the completed bestiary entry for the Infernipede. And as for its lore entry, the Infernipede is a horrific arthropod that stalks the craggy landscapes of Hell's Womb. These demonic insects produce a deadly fire toxin from their fangs and stinger that will cause their prey's blood to boil, incinerating them from the inside out. They molt their hard exoskeleton as they grow, which various demons will break down and use as parts for their armor and weapons. The males are roughly half the size of the females, but have much larger wings, allowing them to fly and attack prey from above. Very few creatures in the region are as feared as this hellacious monstrosity. And now let's go ahead and flip the page over here to check out some more info on the Infernipede. And this sketch here is of the male Infernipede, that way you can get a better sense of what their proportions are versus the big females. And now let's go ahead and move on to the next creature design of the video. Since this video is themed around demons, I felt like one of the go-to choices for creatures to include was the infamous Hellhound. I feel like most of the Hellhound concepts you typically see are based off dogs like Dobermans or Rottweilers or wolves, so I wanted to take a different route and model mine more off of dog breeds like pit bulls or just big old mastiffs. I wanted it to look really tanky and have a short, powerful snout and thick jaws for crushing bones. My goal with this one was pretty simple. I wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel, I just basically imagined what a dog would look like if it were from a demonic realm, so I swapped out the fur-covered body for some rugged, spiky armor plating down its hide. I also threw on some demonic looking horns on its skull, which basically took all the space where the ears would go, so I decided to go with the cop out here with the design and have its horns actually contain their auditory system. So underneath each of those little spiky plated ridges on the horns are these really thin openings that funnel down into their auditory canals. These beasts have a great sense of smell and are used as hunting partners and guard dogs for the various demonic races. Now, just because we're talking demons, it doesn't necessarily mean that all these creatures and beings are inherently evil. Of course, you got your villainous demons who want to expand their power and control, but there's also a lot just living their own lives like any other race in this world. You'll see when I started coloring this one here, I began with making it primarily red, and after I added all the accent colors, it ended up looking like a dog version of Rathalos or something, which was cool, but Hellhounds are basically always described as being black dogs with piercing red eyes, and I just felt like it fits better, so I swapped out that red color for the iconic black. I also thought it would be cool to have some strips of thick fur lined down its spine and tail, just to add a little bit of extra design details to its body. Overall, I'm happy with how this fiery doggo turned out. I definitely think it looks pretty different from your standard Hellhound concepts, so hopefully y'all dig it. And here we have the completed bestiary entry for the Hellhound. And for its flavor text here, Hellhounds are large, brutish beasts bred and raised as loyal companions to the various demon races. Their incredible sense of smell and powerful jaws make them exceptional hunting dogs. Although they lack ears, their auditory system is actually located within their massive horns. The Hellhound's thick, plated hides are impervious to fire, but weigh them down so much that they are unable to swim. Needless to say, they don't like the water. And now let's go ahead and flip the page here to see some other little nuggets of information. Although it wasn't intended, I guess if you're a small enough person, you could use one of these beasts as a mount. And now let's go ahead and check out the final creature design of today's video. Just like the Hellhound, this is another creature that immediately came to my mind when I first thought about what sort of fauna I could come up with for the Hell's Womb episode. The fiery bucking bronco known as the Nightmare. I've only ever drawn a horse like a handful of times in my entire life, so it was definitely fun sketching up this one. In most fantasy iterations, the Nightmare is basically just a black horse with flames on its hooves or mane. I of course wanted to do more with the concept than just that, so as with the Hellhound, I took a similar design approach to this one. If an animal were to exist in a much harsher landscape around constant threats, then you gotta beef it up and give it some extra attributes to survive. As you can see, my version of this demonic horse has almost dragon-like armored plating and a nice unicorn-style horn atop its head that it can use to impale foes. Of course, I had to make its large, rugged hooves engulfed in flames as well, since this is a nightmare after all, and you gotta have some sort of fire effects here. When I was drawing this one, I kept thinking of Darksiders actually. For those of you who don't know, it's a video game franchise about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's one of my favorite series, and I'd say it's probably one of the most underrated video game franchises of all time. But yeah, I always loved the Warhorse Ruin in that series, so it of course gave me some inspiration here as well. Now you may be asking yourself if any of the demons use these steeds here as mounts, and the answer is no. You see, these nightmares here are said to be untamable. They have short tempers and are highly aggressive, to the point that they will charge down any who come into their line of sight. Many poor fools have tried to subdue these wild beasts, but to no avail. It often ends in them being trampled to death. Rest in peace. And here we have the completed bestiary entry for the Nightmare. And as for its lore entry here, an aggressive and wild steed, it is said to be impossible to tame the Nightmare. They can run at blazing fast speeds, their powerful hooves coated in shadow fire and leaving a trail of embers. The males are extremely territorial and will charge at any who enter into their vicinity. Although they are a fearsome and intimidating beast, their closest relative is the majestic, awe-inspiring unicorn. Now let's go ahead and flip this page here to check out some more details. Let me know in the comments down below which of these 3 creatures from Hell's Womb is your favorite. Also, let me know what locale on my world map you would like to see some creatures designed for in the next episode here on my world building series. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and also make sure you clickety-clack that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my content here on the channel. We're approaching that 20K subscriber milestone, and I appreciate every one of you who have been a part of this journey here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.